Welcome to WenDuct64 by Wendes Systems. WenDuct64 is a ductwork estimating system that comes loaded with construction standards for light gauge, heavy gauge, and fiberglass. You can also set up your own construction standards by static pressure, material, and connections. There are spec controls, general specs for automatic pricing, for flex duct, and the methods of taking off flex duct, for sealant for connections and sealant for seams, for lining and waste multipliers, trenching setup, drawing and shipping hours. And there's also specs by material. For light gauge, it has its own specs. You can use an in-house coil line or manually fabricate or purchase your ductwork. For straight, short straight, and fittings. You can also set up your own standard lengths for any size range. Each type of material has its own waste multipliers as well. In this case, for galvanized coil stock, we see there's a waste multiplier of 1.12 for straight manual. The tables in the program include all manner of materials and types of materials: rectangular light gauge, low pressure round, spiral round, oval, heavy gauge, black iron and stainless steel, flexible ductwork, flues, duct accessories, sheet metal specialties, and everything you can imagine that you might need for a ductwork takeoff. The price of the metal can be set under fittings sheet stock and straight coil sheet stock. You can set the tables just by going to the material, in this case galvanized stock sheet, and opening, and you just type right over your fabricated dollars per pound or your purchased dollars per pound per gauge. There are multiple settings for customization, and there's a built-in backup and restore for everything in the program, from jobs to construction standards to specs to tables, for easy backup into zip format. If we open a job here, let's create a new job. We'll just call it sample here. We'll call our first system supply. And we'll make it light gauge, and we'll do a TDC connection. We'll take 2-inch static pressure. Now we can verify our material setup and change anything that we want to change for rectangular or round or hangers. Now we could select our spec. If we're fabbing or purchasing, we can have separate specs for each type of takeoff. And then our general specs, of which you can have multiple sets. We'll just take standard in this case. When we go into takeoff, it'll ask for what system type. We'll say in this case supply. It'll ask for a starting floor drawing and area, which you don't have to enter right away. A starting size, we'll start with 24 by 12 in this case. And whether you're going to have bare, lined, or wrapped ductwork. Once you're in the takeoff, you can drag the windows to wherever you want them and resize them according to how they look best on your monitor setup. You can resize your template and move every window by the title bar to wherever you want it. The drawing window is here in the background. We can move that to a secondary monitor just by dragging it by the title bar. But for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to leave it all on one screen. You can either open a drawing in the takeoff, or you can open multiple drawings outside the takeoff. If you open drawings outside the takeoff, you can go to Load Drawings, highlight the PDF, and it'll bring up the drawing list. You can either take a few of them or just convert all of them and put them all in the job. So in this case, I'll take pages 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. And it'll tell you that the drawings were successfully added to the job. When you go back into the takeoff now, you'll see under the drawings that all those pages are listed. Plans pages 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. And if you click on it, it'll open the drawing. You can also open your drawings right from the takeoff just by clicking on drawings and clicking on the drawing you want. And you can either open up a JPG or a PDF or any image file. So here we have a drawing that has some ductwork on it. And we'll just do some sample takeoff of this 48 by 12 stretch here. We want to make sure under size that we're set for 48 by 12. And we can scale the drawing to an exact scale by clicking on the scale button. The next 2 points can be a known length, like this doorway. Put in the length and your drawing is scaled. You never have to scale again, even if you open it in a different system. Now if we take off some duct here, let's go to straight. We'll take off this stretch here. And you can proceed just taking off all the items on your drawing. The program has multiple editing functions under both the edit menu and on the sidebar. So anything can be changed on the fly as you go. To close the takeoff, you close the drawing window. And we go to reports. We can run a report. And it'll bring up an extension as the default report. An extension is just a breakout of everything that was taken off. And you can go to summaries to see a full summary, which is a more generic breakdown. And there's extensions by system, floor, drawing, and area. There's straight extensions by system, and there's summaries by floor, drawing, and area and system, as well as general totals like totals per gauge, totals per system, and pounds per hour. You can print any report by clicking on print and selecting which reports you want to print. When you're done with your totals, you can go to your grand totals, which is a dump into Excel. We dump into custom Excel spreadsheets as well as having default spreadsheets of our own. In this case, I just dumped into this spreadsheet one of our defaults. And if you click on recap here, you can see under job recap that all our totals, they've dumped right into this spreadsheet. And here you can add your sales tax, your overhead, and your margin, and come up with an accurate number for your grand total. To see a full demo of WenDuct, give Wendes Systems a call at 847-808-8371.